Oi, oi, we are back. As I always allude, we'll never run away. We'll always come back to give you more informative, more mind boggling and changing information, not such as a narrative, but such as the truth. The truth is not narrative, right? The truth is reality, what is happening on the ground. And that's what, in actual fact, matters, right? So now, what are we on about? Ranting and ranting every day and all the time. But anyway, it's about what our people are going through. It's about the situation, that our people find themselves in. But anyway, we are there to, you know, try to align those mindsets with what is happening in our everyday life, right? So, yeah, the topic today is about Alexander Ibn Renewal, right? The issue of Alexander, it's a pain. It is, what has, in actual fact, shown that our people have failed after 30 years of democracy in South Africa. I'm sorry, I'm using the Hong Kong English and I don't like it. But anyway, sometimes you have to, right? Yeah, but before that, I've seen this interview of this American ambassador to South Africa, Brigady or Brigety, whatever pronunciation that will be, because I'm not a water person, I am a water person. Right? Yeah. So anyway, I've seen the interview with Caesar Bofu Walsh, right? I think the YouTube channel SWMX or something like that, right? So now, man, in a million years could I have just actually foreseen that this guy is a professor for that matter, an academic. I wonder, wow, why are we even, have to go to school to learn sometimes? It doesn't make sense because I would love to find out his thesis. What was it based on as, submission for his professor or his doctorate for that matter? First of all, his doctorate before even his professor status, right? What was his thesis based on, right? Because I do not understand if somebody could be that naive, that misunderstanding of things which are happening on the ground. How then do they manage to climb the ladder to the echelons, to the highest points? I really don't understand that, right? Because for me, before somebody, mainly, I will say academia has what? Has sold us out, right? Academia has sold us out. Why? Because, seems to narrate things in a very wrong perspective, the way that you want people to perceive you rather than the way the truth is. And that, for me, it's just actually appalling, right? It's on its highest appalling level whatsoever. Because, come on, this guy, when he was like, talking about South Africa and the lady, whatever, ship in the Cape, to say, South Africa is selling arms to the Russian Federation. I just did not understood. If that's why I thought he was just like a simple Joe from the street like me, right? To say, but this guy, if he is bringing that to the fore, shouldn't he have done his, due diligence before? Like investigate somehow, find out, understand before you bring it to the light of the media so that the media can make a big noise. Because for me, I think somehow this interview of Caesar is highly misleading, right? And I'll tell you, right, I know about this PR stance and, the what is this, propaganda from the West and stuff like that, right? And I used to know somebody who used to be in, that position as a master student, is doing communications and stuff like that, mainly what is PR, yeah, public relations, right? PR means public relations, guys. So because you might, confuse things, right? So now this person will, show me the questions that they are sending to us, because this person was working for a certain company, a startup or something like that. But then, and I'll be seeing those questions that they are sending to the people that they're going to interview and all that stuff, or the people who are going to interview them and stuff like that. And I said, this is how you do it. You have to send question before and all the stuff. Yes, it's formality. I said, oh, okay. So, but now, this interview of Sizwe and the ambassador, it's not foretelling of a lot of things. And I, compare it to that interview that this Carlson guy has done, whatever it's called, with Putin, right? It is misleading. Why? Because you do not get to the point of the matters, right? Because we want to know the reality. Because as far as Brigady is concerned, I would love to know what was his intention when he was, bringing about this issue of Lady Bird. What was, the kind of like respect of sovereignty that he had on South Africa? What was the level, right, of respect to our sovereignty, right? Because South Africa, we are a sovereign nation, and somebody from outside there should respect our norms, our ethics, our every way of life. And if you have to accuse us of something that we have, put down on our constitution, that we are not a warmongering country like America is, right? We are not warmongers, right? We are not hooligans as the Americans are. We are not looking for blood. We are looking for peace. And if South Africa was to foster for peace, but at the end of the day, kind of like run after selling ammunition, evil things to people to kill one another, what will that say or speak about South Africa, right? As a peaceful nation as we come to be, after what we went through under apartheid, it was not something that can be taken lightly, right? And we do not want to see somebody going through that. And look, me, I align with Israel. I love Israel. It's the nation in the heart of God, right? But what they are doing to Palestine, it is wrong. It doesn't take a blind eyes to see that. No. When you are coming against kids, you're coming against women, you're coming up children. Come on, why are you killing those? What did they do to you? Yes, in the long run, they might because of anger and stuff like that. But what have they done to you when you have to stand before God and say, yeah, I've killed those kids, I've killed those women? Then God will ask, but what did they do to you? Right? Why don't you run after? Israel has got enough ammunition, enough intelligence. I forgot the intelligence unit of Israel that could have, outsourced this information and get the guys who have done that, and also in the interim free the people who have been captured by that Hamas organization. But they didn't do that. So now this guy comes here in South Africa as an ambassador who has to respect our sovereignty, right? And speak anyhow, right? And sees we're now having a chance to ask that, but man, what was your intention, right? What intention did you have to bring such a thing, to the whole world to see that, South Africa is saying this at the backside, this is what they are doing, right? Come on. No. Some of these interviews are very wrong. They should not even take place because they are misleading to our people. Yes, well spoken, whatever. But at the end of the day, we do not get to know the truth. We want to know the truth. We want to understand why. You know, somebody who has, there is never an American ambassador who has done what he has done, this guy, to our nation. And worst of all, as a black person. Does not make sense. This is a person who is supposed to be here and says, you know what? If South Africa is doing wrong, I will uncover it and I will put it out there. But if South Africa is doing right, I will uncover it as well. Because I need to project this nation for what it is, not for what it is not. South Africa is not a warmongering nation. We are a peaceful people, and because of what we went through, and Mandela said it, we do not want to see anybody going through what we do not even wishes it on our worst enemies. We will never do that, right? Because this is South Africa. This is a peaceful nation. We will foster for peace more than anything else in the whole world. And that's why South Africa has to go on the forefront and fight and say, Israel, enough is enough. We understand, yes, you had to do whatever you have to do, but enough, it's enough. It has to come to an abrupt halt, right? So now you have, we understand of, Americans being patriotic and all stuff, but we are more patriotic than Americans are. We love our nations, right? We love this nation, and we do not want to see any negative PR or whatsoever out there about our nation, even though it's happening, because anybody wants to discredit South Africa for whatever matter. Maybe it makes them feel better, right? But this is our nation, and everybody needs to respect this nation for what it is: a peaceful nation, good-loving people, better, welcoming people, friendly people, jivey people, happy people. No matter what we are going through, no matter problems that we have, we are still what? We are still joyful. We are still joyous for whatever it is that we don't know what for. But at the end of the day, somebody wants to project us badly, and since we just have a chance to ask him to say, buddy, what is your issue? Right? Are you a house and I don't want to say not that word because I align with the things of God, but are you, that house and person? You will just figure it out. Right? It's wrong. Do not come here and project us badly. Right? Like these African people doing, we are welcoming to them, we put them in our houses, we put them in our yard, they use their chuchus and mutis all around our yards and stuff like that. At the end of the day, they call us xenophobic. It is not right. Respect us, we will respect you. That's South Africa for you, right? If you don't respect us, why do you care whether we respect you or not, right? It's how it's supposed to be, right? So, yeah, I was just touched by that interview. I didn't even want to finish it because it doesn't narrate the reality, right? It doesn't pinpoint the real issues. But we want to know this guy coming here 2.5 years or whatever. So, and now you want to discredit our country and everybody thinking that it's fine. It's not fine. Academia has, sold us out. It's as easy as that, right? People who are academic and they think, you just need to wear hook claps, right? Like a donkey. Jeez, man, that's not fair. It's definitely not fair, right? So, yeah, anyway, sorry, I deviated from the real issue here, which is Alexandra Urban Renewal Project, right? Guys, the issue of Alexandra is painful, and for these 30 years in democracy that those people are still living like that. And at the end of the day, one can say, they established themselves because anyway, we Africans are informal. Yeah, we are. Our mindsets are very informal. That's why when somebody gets education as an African, you will feel it. You will definitely feel it. We street Joes, we don't care about that, man. We know the reality. The reality is where we stand from, because what we have been taught as African people is that if you forget your history, you are just as dead as the phoenix. Nah, you will never be risen from the ashes. You are dead. Dead and gone. Forgotten. And that's what the Hong Kong thing is doing to our people. People think, I can speak, English. Sis. Anyway, history of Alex Nash. I love Alex. Mabuni. Kasi lama kasi. Alex. Oh, fun. I tell you, ham mabiana. Yeah, I think they call it like that, right? Hamampiana. No, not Hamabiana. Hamampiana. Yeah, basho njalo. Gomora the north. Hey, Gasi. Amagasi. Alex, mfana maboning. You talk about Maboning in town. Maboning is LX, buddy, the north. Gomorrah. Oh, yeah. LX. What was LX before LX? In 1912, LX was a farm like any area in mainly, like the suburb area of Johannesburg. Mainly started as farmlands, right? Because the main concentrate was the city, but then the people who could manage to, steal the land. That's where the land issue comes in. And, so it was a farmland in 1912 belonging to HB. Papen Fast, yeah, whatever. Papen Fast, what can that be? Maybe a Polish or something like that, yeah, maybe, whatever the land, that's what they call it. But anyway, up north there, right? So now, he named Alexander under his wife, Alexandra. Alexandra. Probably she was a beautiful one, I believe. Alex is amazing. It's got beautiful souls. Though, the stars of many people there has been diminished because of, whatever it is that it's actually, doing that. But anyway, God is good. One day, something will happen for Alexander people, because I believe the Bible is right when it says God speaks for the poor, right? Though they might not have a voice, but one day God will speak for them. And I believe one day will come for Alexander, right? And population-wise, 2011 statistics. I hate statistics because they are always wrong. They lie, people. Yeah, anyway. Population as per statistics 2011, 179, 625, right? Then per square kilometers, array, it's around 8 square kilometers, which makes the population of around 22,453 people per square kilometer. That's heavy, heavy population thereof. And if we have to, step it up to a mile, it's around 477 people per square mile. And the most populated place in the world is Tokyo, with 119,600 people per square mile. So Alex forms around 48% of that, right? So it's a heavily, densely populated place, right? As small as it is, 179,000 people, it's a lot, right? You take opposite places like Sandton, it's very wide and big, but the population is a little bit more than that, right? So, yeah, the proximity to Sandton, around 4.6 Ks. One can walk from Sandton. I see a lot of guys walking from Alex to Sandton because many of them, they work in Sandton. I remember at the time of the ANC, they did this thing. What was that? The pavement for the bicycles, to try to help the people. But why didn't they buy the people from Alex bicycles then? So it was a good thing, but why didn't they buy? I remember Mashaba came in and abolished that. Luckily, it was already awarded. People were working. But look, I think it was more or less a good thing. But at the end of the day, you have needed to make a provision for people of Alex maybe to get bicycles, right? Not the electronic bikes, but the normal bicycles. You don't know these ways. So now people from Alex, they walk from Alex to Sandton. And somehow I feel very sad in a sense that, people from outside of South Africa, they come here, they see a squatter caps close to a nice formalized place. Does it make sense? Really doesn't. I don't know. But, there was this movie, whatever. There was this city called Elysia Mala to refer to that, where, you got nice place and you got a bad place. And you wonder, how do we live with ourselves? And mainly the guys who are in power, how do they come to live with themselves? How do you think people are perceiving you as, right? Because you are living in a very beautiful house, but your neighbor is living in a shack. Does it make sense? Right? They lack food, they lack employment, they lack this. If you have to employ them, you rob them money. You don't want their children to raise up to the occasions, and it does not, for me, it does not cut it, right? It's a painful thing that when you have to pass through Alex, through the London RD, they call it what now? Vincent Chabalala. Yeah, he was one of the political, the fighters, right? So, but Alexander Urban Renewal Project, that was supposed to have lifted Alexander out of, the apartheid legacy that it found itself in, right? But it didn't do the work. And why? Because of, our people. And somehow that's why, we have been blaming the white man for that long, right? Africa has been blaming the white man for 60, 70 years because some of the African nations have found their freedom from colonialization, whatever they call it, for a lot of years. But they still, blaming back then and forgetting that the colonialists have, subjugate, whatever word, their powers and given them, what they need to, formalize their country, formalize their people, educate their people, make their people understand. But they've taken the same route, all of them. You can check throughout the whole of Africa. They've taken more or less the same route, the route of oppression, apartheid on one another, like black on black apartheid, Hong Kong nonsense, taking their kids to study in the, Europeans or the US university, very expensive universities, while the people on the ground are suffering. And, we don't say anybody don't have to go and study in the very, good schools or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the main objective here was to align our people in a way that they will, have a better understanding of how things work so that they can move their country forwards, so that their countries can do well and be respected by the whole world. But Africa is still, an underdog. And the reason it's not a matter of resources, monies and stuff, it's a matter of mindset, right? And we know that. And this is the same issue with Alexander, where 1.3 billion rands have been spent whatsoever. How, when, where, nobody knows. And I think there are strategic things that should have happened, though, I think we'll cover them, whatnot. But you look, the developments that have taken place, I think there is phase one of the urban renewal, where private and, public sectors have, come into, or government sector, public and government has come into, sort of an agreement to make, changes within the landscape of Alexander. And I say, yes, we shouldn't only focus on, the ANC is wrong. Yes, we know they are wrong. Why? Because they should have done more, but at most they've done less because they've taken, remember this video of these guys, I think it's, just a joke video of a guy who's announcing how much money is there to build a interchange. They say 30 billion or something like that. Then the next thing he goes, he gives the contractor or the turnkey members the monies. And this guy takes the money when he's walking, then this politician come and take, and this other politician come and take, and this other politician come and take. Look, Steve, That bag was empty before before the project could even start. And that's that's how we do things. And you wonder, but why? Why is that? Why don't we implement first, finish the project, and pay whoever you have to pay? And that's why I always said, in my works, I ascribe to no Jojo, things. I definitely will tell you, I don't want your money. Because if I was a walking Joe on the street, will you give me that money? If you can't give me that money, then I don't want it. It's not my money, it's your money. Have it. Do what it's supposed to be doing, which is right. And at the end of the day, remember, mainly most of the, I've done a lot of structures, and I said, these structures today, tomorrow you're going to work on this structure. What if tomorrow it collapses? While you're on top of that structure, whom are you going to blame? Me or the money you gave me as a Jojo, right? It is not fair, right? Do the job, finish the job. At the end of the day, you can thank me, it's fine. But if you don't want to thank me, it's fine, because I'm very harsh. Right? So now, okay, you have these renewal, initiatives that have been done. Yes, it was like, if you check it, a drop in an ocean. Why? Because majority of Alexandra people are still suffering. And now there is this project, if you pass by, not London Road, but the main road, I forgot the name of that road, right? If you pass through that road, you will see there is a container sort of, I think it was a pilot project, right? Container housing. Why don't they give those to people? Then, and worst of all, what they should have done, take out the people at a certain section, give them those whatever constructed units, right? And then take the area where they were staying and build another ones. Remove those people who are staying on another area, bring them there. Why? Because most of Alexandra area is informal, right? It's not a formalized areas, right? Most of the area, I'm not saying all of Alex, but most of the area is informal, right? So start doing that portion by portion, right? Phase by phases. As they have started with phase one, take people, move them, shift them. And worst of all, these container buildings are very cheap compared to the normal concrete buildings or the normal structural steel buildings, right? They are very cheap. So this is what's supposed to have happened. Phase one, bring the people out. I don't know why they don't want to give those houses to the people, the container units, right? I do not understand why. Probably they are looking either for money or for blood. Those two things. That's the biggest problem of our ANC government. And also, this partnership with the private sector. Many of the companies in Central were supposed to put out monies so that they can help these people, because these people of Alex, many are working for the people in Central. They are working to Central to work each and every day of their lives. For what? Right? For what? They are paying them peanuts. They're not taking good care of them. But at least the least they could have done is to make sure that those people have proper units. And remember, you have people who are staying at the Jexkay River, right? Remember, when we are doing like mainly, sort of pre-planning as town planners will do, right? You kind of like look at 100-year flood line, meaning stay at least 100 meters from the river banks, in actual fact, not from the river as such, but from the river banks, right? 100 meters, right? 50-year flood line, maybe 50 meters from the river banks, right? But you look at LX, it's 0.0. Somebody's even staying in the river. That's a painful thing, right? That's a very painful thing. When it rains, sometimes I pray to God, God, let it rain. But sometimes you feel like, gee, man, what about people who do not have houses? You think a lot about those people. And at the end of the day, it's very painful. It's very, I can say, it's something that should have been corrected after post-94, right? When I say you cannot build me a house, but at least, do something for me, I could even just pay for that house. It's fine, right? At least, the people of Alex, I don't think many of them cannot pay. They can pay, if it's 50 rands a month or 100 rands a month, but they can pay something, but at least reform the standard of those people, right? Help those people to grow. Show them, love. Show them something. Show them that they are not disregarded as people, right? They are not failure, right? They are people as well. But our government has failed to do that for 30 years in the game. EFF has come, and what did they do? Nothing. I remember one day going for a meeting for EFF there in Alexandra, because I'm kind of like stayed within that region for long, right? But what have we done for our people to say we can lead you as people? We can lead you as your leaders. We can, because what does the leader mean? The leader means wherever I go, the direction I go, you come. Right? The direction that I'm heading, you come. Right? That's a leader. That's what a leader does not insinuate a follower. You go there, then I follow you. No. It doesn't mean that. A leader means I be in your front and you follow wherever direction that I take, right? You do not deviate whatsoever because I lead you. If you deviate, I'm not your leader. It's as simple as that. So now you have these people of EFF, you have these people of ANC, you have these people of DA, you have these people of Action SA. What are they leading in actual fact? They are leading ghosts. You look at it. These people are leading ghosts. They are not leading people. And it doesn't make sense at all, right? So it's the blind leading the blind. That's what is happening. Anyway, guys, I think maybe this video is a little bit, out of context whatsoever somehow, but I believe somehow it might touch other people to think wise, to think differently from what we are seeing now. And also, to research, to find out what is happening, what can one do, what is needed in actual fact to solve another person's problem. Because another person's problem might be, a way for you to, extend that arm, that beautiful arm of yours. I mean, if you have one anyway, because most of us outside we look nice, but inside, and mainly these academics, you look nice outside, yes, because you can afford and put in good clothes, nice clothes, drive a very fancy car, live in a fancy house, but inside you are rotten, many of us. We are rotten, I tell you the truth, right? Because we do not, like I take the issue of food. We throw away a lot of food each and every day, right? There are people out there who are suffering. What are we doing about it? Are we doing anything about it? Are we feeding the poor? Is there any initiative that we are doing? At least, a small thing might make a lot of difference, because whatever small thing that you do not need, somebody can make a difference out of that thing, right? So anyway, yes, that was the video. Let's hope God gives us more life. God extend our lifeline so that we can influence other people in the truth. And the truth shall set us free. Yes. Anyway, oi, see you on the next video.